You know what really grinds my gears? WWE keeps shoving Roman Reigns down our throats as this unstoppable Survivor Series legend, but they conveniently forget to mention all the times he failed when it mattered most. They edit out the embarrassing losses, the times he got carried by his team, and the moments where he absolutely choked under pressure. But not today. Today, we're exposing everything WWE has been hiding about Roman's Survivor Series career, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see the Tribal Chief in a completely different light. If you think Roman is overrated at Survivor Series, drop a comment right now. Let's see how brave you really are. Let's travel back to where it all started, Survivor Series 2013. Roman Reigns wasn't the Tribal Chief yet. He was just another member of the Shield, standing alongside Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. And here's what WWE won't tell you: Roman wasn't even the standout performer that night. Centimeter Punk was the sole survivor for his team, not Roman. But you'd think Roman won the whole thing by himself with the way WWE rewrites history. The Shield eliminated Rey Mysterio and the Usos, sure, but let's be honest, it was a team effort. Roman was still green, still learning, still being protected by two of the best workers in the business. But WWE wants you to believe Roman was always this megastar. Wrong. Fast forward to Survivor Series 2015, and this is where things get really interesting. Roman Reigns won his first WWE Championship by defeating Dean Ambrose in the tournament final. Sounds impressive, right? Wrong. This entire tournament only existed because Seth Rollins got injured. Roman didn't earn that spot through months of storytelling. He got it because WWE needed a backup plan. And what happened immediately after? He lost the title the same night to Sheamus. 22 seconds. That's how long Roman held the most prestigious championship in wrestling. 22 embarrassing seconds. Here's a question for you: do you think Roman deserved to win the WWE Championship at Survivor Series 2015, or was it just WWE forcing him on us? Answer in the comments below. Now let's talk about Survivor Series 2016, the year of brand warfare. Raw vs SmackDown. Roman was on Team Raw, and sure, they won the match. But let's analyze what actually happened. Roman got himself disqualified by attacking someone with a chair. That's not leadership. That's not the actions of someone who deserves to be called the guy. Chris Jericho and Braun Strowman did more heavy lifting in that match than Roman ever did. But again, WWE's camera focuses on Roman, making you think he was the hero of the story. The pattern continues at Survivor Series 2017. This was supposed to be Roman's redemption arc, right? Team Raw was counting on their powerhouse. And what happened? Roman eliminated Kurt Angle, his own team captain, because WWE's creative team thought it would make for good television. Then later in the match, Roman got pinned clean in the middle of the ring. His team lost. But did Roman take responsibility? Did he show any accountability? No, because in WWE's world, Roman Reigns never has to answer for his failures. Think about that for a second. How many times has John Cena been held accountable for losses? How many times did Stone Cold Steve Austin show vulnerability? But Roman? He loses and then shows up on Raw the next night like nothing happened, ready to get another title shot he didn't earn. Survivor Series 2018 was supposed to be different. This was Roman's big return after his real-life battle with leukemia, and nobody wanted to see him fail. The emotion was real, the crowd was behind him, and we all wanted that feel-good moment. Roman faced Brock Lesnar in a dream match, and honestly, Roman looked good, but he still lost. Again, when it came down to the biggest match of the night, Roman Reigns came up short. I'm not taking anything away from his courage or his real-life fight, that's beyond wrestling and beyond criticism. But from a pure kayfabe, storyline perspective, Roman's Survivor Series record was becoming a joke. Here's another question for the comment section: was Roman's return at Survivor Series 2018 too soon, or was it the perfect moment? Let's debate this respectfully. Then we get to Survivor Series 2019, and this might be the most frustrating one of all. Roman wasn't even in the main elimination match. Instead, he fought Baron Corbin in a random singles match that nobody cared about. Baron Corbin. The man has been called the most boring wrestler in modern WWE, and that's who WWE thought was worthy of facing Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. Roman won the match. Congratulations, you beat Baron Corbin, here's your participation trophy. But the real story was happening elsewhere. The women were tearing the house down, NXT was stealing the show, and Roman was stuck in mid-card purgatory. This is what happens when WWE books themselves into a corner. They pushed Roman so hard for so many years that by 2019, fans were exhausted. They didn't know what to do with him anymore. He was too big to be in the mid-card but too unpopular to be in the main event. So they stuck him with Baron Corbin and hoped nobody would notice. But we noticed. We always notice. Survivor Series 2020 is where things finally started clicking. Roman returned as a completely different character, the tribal chief. Heel Roman, manipulative Roman, interesting Roman. He faced Drew McIntyre in a champion versus champion match, and while the match ended in a double countout, it didn't matter. For the first time in years, people actually wanted to see Roman Reigns on their television. The character work was phenomenal, the presentation was elite, and WWE finally figured out what they should have known all along: Roman works better as a villain. But let's not rewrite history here. It took WWE 6 years to figure this out. 6 years of booing, 6 years of Roman Reigns, the guy who always overcomes the odds, 6 years of forcing a character that nobody wanted to see. They finally got it right, but only after nearly destroying Roman's credibility in the process. Quick trivia question: how many Survivor Series traditional elimination matches has Roman Reigns actually won as the sole survivor? Drop your answer below before you Google it. Survivor Series 2021 was the coronation. Roman Reigns vs Big E in a champion versus champion match, and Roman won decisively. He was 100% in his tribal chief era. SmackDown was his kingdom, and every week felt like an event. This was peak Roman Reigns. The confidence, the mic work, the in-ring psychology, everything finally aligned. WWE had their top guy, and for once, most fans actually agreed. But here's the uncomfortable truth: it took a global pandemic, an empty arena era, and a complete character overhaul for Roman to get over. Think about that. The previous 6 years of Roman's main event push failed. Every organic attempt to make Roman the face of the company backfired spectacularly. It was only when circumstances forced WWE to try something different that they stumbled into success. And even then, even at his absolute peak, Roman's Survivor Series record is mixed at best. He's had embarrassing moments, questionable booking decisions, and matches that didn't deliver on their potential. For someone WWE bills as the greatest Survivor Series competitor of this generation, his actual track record tells a very different story. Let me ask you this: if we're being completely honest, is Roman Reigns even in the top 5 best Survivor Series performers of all time? The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, John Cena, and even someone like Batista have better arguments. Roman has the accolades, sure, but does he have the moments? Does he have those legendary Survivor Series performances that we'll be talking about 20 years from now? That's debatable. Here's the reality that WWE doesn't want to admit: Roman Reigns' Survivor Series legacy is built more on WWE's desperation to make him a star than on actual iconic performances. Yes, he's had good matches. Yes, he's improved tremendously over the years. But when you strip away the corporate push, the manufactured moments, and the revisionist history, what are you left with? A wrestler who's very good but was presented as the greatest of all time before he earned it. A performer who needed a complete character reboot to finally connect with audiences. A main eventer whose best work came after WWE stopped trying to force-feed him to fans as a babyface superhero. Final question for the comments: on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Roman Reigns' overall Survivor Series legacy? Be honest. Look, I'm not saying Roman Reigns is terrible. That's not the point here. The point is that WWE's presentation of Roman's Survivor Series career doesn't match reality. They highlight the victories and ignore the failures. They emphasize the moments and forget the forgettable. They position him as this untouchable legend when his actual resume is far more complicated. Roman Reigns is a good wrestler who became a great character. But his Survivor Series moments, they are overrated, overhyped, and over-exaggerated by a company desperate to justify their decade-long investment. If this video opened your eyes to the real Roman Reigns Survivor Series story, smash that like button and share this with every wrestling fan you know. Subscribe to Wrestling Zone 1 for more truth bombs that WWE doesn't want you to hear. And most importantly, let me know in the comments: am I right, or am I right? Let's start the most heated debate in the comment section right now.